This is BoxingWave. I've been meaning to do this video for a while now. I haven't had time. I've been doing other videos, but I haven't just gotten around to doing this video. The fight is approaching between Amir and Canelo Alvarez, and I just got to get this video out of the way. The first video I did was more like a rant. I did that video the same day that the fight was announced. It came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting Canelo to fight Gennady Golovkin. At that time, we pretty much knew that he wasn't going to fight Golovkin. He wanted a voluntary before he fought Golovkin, okay, and that the news already came out that he would possibly fight Golovkin in the fall, which isn't probably going to happen now. But when I first heard that it was Amir Khan, I was very disappointed. I was like, why is a welterweight coming up to fight for the 160 middleweight title, lineal title at that. Everyone is getting shots at the title except actual middleweight fighters, and that's what really disappointed me. And I ranted about it, and I even contradicted myself a little bit. I can't say that Khan is more skilled and he can outbox Canelo, and then not say at the same time that it's a mismatch. All right, technically it's not a mismatch. All right, Khan does have skills, and if we were to take Canelo's power away, and if it was a fight with equal chins, equal size, equal power, all right, Khan would probably win a fight against Canelo Alvarez. But that's not how things work, okay? Because those are not, Canelo Alvarez happens to punch very hard. And Amir Khan happens to have a glass jaw. And they're not fighters of equal size. I mean, regardless of what Khan walks around in when he's not fighting, we've seen a picture of him at the beach. We see how he looked in the green room when they were, posting videos and pictures for, to promote this fight. We've seen how he looks. He might walk around weighing as much as Canelo, or at least close to it. They're not fighters of the same size, okay? Canelo is naturally more fit, weighing as much as 170 or whatever he is when he's walking around, weighing in the 170s. Whereas Khan looks a little chubby when he's walking around. He has a pot belly and everything like that. We've seen the pictures. We've seen how they looked when they first started taking pictures and stuff like that. We've seen the beach pictures. So we know that Khan gets kind of sloppy, gets kind of chubby, little arms but big belly. Whereas you can't really say the same for Canelo Alvarez, all right? So anyway, as far as this fight, my thoughts haven't really changed. I think Canelo Alvarez is going to win this fight by knockout, But Khan does have a chance of winning this fight. If there is no knockout, if there's no knockdowns, and if this fight does go to 12 rounds, because I think those are the only two options. I think this fight, Canelo's either going to knock this guy out, or, Khan has a good chance of winning a decision. I don't think Canelo can win a decision if he does not hurt or knock down Khan. I think if it's a straight boxing match, Khan wins the fight. He wins the fight. So I don't want to say he doesn't have a chance. All right, but I still think his chances of winning this fight are slim. I think the gap between skills is really not that far off. Okay, Canelo is a good counterpuncher. He is a good boxer. All right, I know he looked bad against Floyd. He didn't look great against Lara, but Amir Khan is not as defensively gifted as Lara or Floyd Mayweather, all right, in my opinion. Offensively, he's a great fighter. He's one of the best out there offensively. The guy is quick as hell. The guy throws great combinations. He's very skillful, all right? He's very skillful. He got very good footwork. And then not only that, but he has a decent height at his weight classes. And he has good reach, all right? He has good reach. So he's very skillful, and he's looked good against, in his recent fights against Louis Collazo and Devin Alexander. Didn't look that great against Algieri, but I don't think anyone was really expecting what we saw against Chris Algieri, all right? But with all that being said, and Khan does have a chance of outboxing Canelo. I think it's a very slim chance. I think Canelo is still a good enough boxer to be able to land a big shot and knock Khan out at some point. I don't think Khan has the power to really gain any respect from Canelo. We seen that in Cotto. Cotto seemed to be the more skilled boxer overall, but whenever Cotto hit him, it didn't really phase Canelo. He looked very small against Canelo. He didn't look powerful against Canelo, okay? He looked powerful against Daniel Gill, Sergio Martinez, but against Canelo looked too big and too strong, all right? Took everything that Cotto gave very easily, all right? So, to be fair, I just had to point out some of these things before the fight. I still think Canelo's going to win by knockout, all right? I think it's going to be either a left hook or a overhand right. It might be a counter. I think it will be a counter. Khan, very skilled boxer, but he makes mistakes, all right? Sometimes he still stay in the pocket a little too long. He's a little too offensive, all right? And at some point, he's going to leave his jab or something out there a little too long. Canelo's going to counter him, and he's going to go to sleep. I think he's going to go to sleep in this fight, and that's my pick. Am I saying that Amir Khan don't have a chance of winning a fight? No, I'm not saying that. All right, no, I'm not saying that. I know when I was ranting about the fight, I was pretty pissed off because of the situations and the politics. But outside of that, Khan did what he had to do. He made a good decision by taking this fight. Are you going to fight Canelo Alvarez on pay-per-view? Or are you going to fight Danny Garcia in a rematch? Or are you going to fight Keith Thurman? Or are you going to fight one of these other welterweights? He took Canelo Alvarez. If you can't get Floyd in the ring, you can't get Manny Pacquiao in the ring, you can't get Miguel Cotto in the ring, you got to get Canelo Alvarez. And if you have the opportunity to fight Canelo on pay-per-view and beat him, then it would be great. It would be Khan's greatest win if he were to win this fight, all right? And he will be the superstar that he's been trying to be all this time. So I can't blame him and fault him for taking this fight, all right? Canelo, I fault him, all right? I think Canelo should have, if you're not going to fight Golovkin, I think he should have at least fought someone that maybe didn't have a huge chance of beating him, but someone that can give him a solid fight. Not saying that Khan can't because the fight didn't happen yet. This is boxing. Anything can happen. But I was expecting more of a Gabe Rosado. I was expecting more of maybe Arvanis Martirosyan. I didn't expect Demetrius Andrade. I didn't expect Jamal Charlo. And I didn't expect Danny Jacobs or Billy Joe Saunders at 160. I didn't expect any of those guys, all right? But I thought it would be a guy that was tough, that could give him a good fight, like a Martirosyan, like a Gabe Rosado. Rosado could fight both at 154 and 160. And he's a guy that a lot of fighters, top fighters, do fight because he's a tough matchup. He's not impossible to beat. If you're a high-level fighter, most likely you're able to beat him. But I thought Canelo was going to go that route. And when I found out he was fighting Khan, I was like, a knockout is going to happen. The knockout's definitely going to happen. In my opinion, that's my pick. But Khan does have the skills to outbox Canelo. It's just that how long is he going to do it? Is it going to be 2 or 3 rounds? Is it going to be 8 rounds? Is it going to go to decision? I highly doubt it goes to decision, I highly doubt that it goes 6 rounds. All right, that's just my opinion. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. I did a rant. I just wanted to make up a new video. As far as the weigh-in and everything, the weigh-in didn't come. I doubt I'll make another video, but I think Khan is going to look all right in the weigh-in. I think going up in weight and trying to build muscle weight is going to slow him down just a little bit. Okay, he's doing lifting. I'm assuming they want to have him more meaty and more powerful, but I think it's going to slow him down a little bit. And Canelo is a pretty good counter puncher, all right? And I think he's going to counter and put Khan to sleep. But I don't think Khan is going to look so bad. I mean, like I said, go for it. You can still get the Brook fight. You can still get the Danny Garcia fight. These are fights that are still probably going to happen even if he gets knocked down by Canelo. So I I can't bash him for that. You know, I know I bashed him, but it was more because of Canelo. Why are you fighting this guy with a glass jaw coming up from 147 and you're not fighting Gennady Golovkin, you know? And a possibility, if Khan wins and he becomes a middleweight champion, he's not fighting Gennady Golovkin. We all know that. He knows that. Even when they ask him, he's like looking at them like, are you serious? You think I'm going to fight Gennady Golovkin? You know, he's not going to fight Gennady Golovkin. And, you know, when I say this is not a mismatch now, when I say that he has the skill to outbox Canelo Alvarez, he can't outbox Gennady Golovkin, and he can't survive a knockout. There's no way. There's like, you know, as much as I say this fight, or many people say this fight is a mismatch, the Golovkin fight is 10 times more worse than this fight. All right, Khan is not going to fight that guy, and if he doesn't fight him, there's a good chance that he might vacate the title. And I don't think Khan will really be mad at that because, you know, at the end of the day, he's looking to be a superstar. You know, he wants the names, he wants the big names. And when he does fight Brook, or when he does fight Garcia, or maybe Floyd will come back out and fight him, you never know. That's what he really wants at the end of the day. I don't think he wants to be a middleweight great or anything like that. All right, so that's the end of my video. I'm not trying to make it too long for you guys. I don't think I'm going to make another video of this fight, like I said, but, you know, if something crazy happens or whatever, I'll make another video. But nothing, you know, fights next week, and I'm picking Canelo by KO, all right? Canelo's going to knock him out, all right? So make sure you guys subscribe. Be on the lookout for more videos. I got more videos coming on the way. And check out the Danny Garcia video I just uploaded from last night. Check that video out. Pretty good video. Check out the Golovkin videos I put up recently. Errol Spence, all that good stuff. A lot of prediction videos are out. All right, and be more on the way. Deontay Wilder's coming up with Povetkin. That prediction video is coming up. Klitschko Fury 2 coming up. A lot of other fights coming up. All right, peace.